Gratitude month, day 17. 17 days? I've been doing this for 17 days. Today I'm grateful for self-reflection. You guys, this is crazy. The amount of things that have changed in Evan and I's life in the past year. 1 year ago today, we were setting up our Christmas tree in our house. Our dog was sitting on the coffee table. Excuse me. What are you doing? Are you trying to be tall like Daddy? 1 year has brought so much change. Fast forward to a year later, we sold our house. We live in a Los Angeles high-rise apartment. And I have a business that I do full-time. Evan has an entirely new job in videography. 6 years ago, I was single, full-time college student at Texas A&M. 5 years ago, I was living in Louisiana, doing acting, booking commercials, doing all the things, which was already whoa, how did I get to Louisiana from Texas, where I grew up? That already was just what am I doing? And 4 years ago, Evan and I started dating. 4 years ago. 3 years ago, we were engaged. 2 years ago, we were freshly married, just bought our first house. 1 year ago, we were finally in our house, living in Louisiana. We had full-time jobs. I had just started our business on the side. He wasn't even gone to basic training for the military yet. Everything was pretty steady. Everything was just normal. And then it's I blinked and we're living in Los Angeles, California. I'm a full-time business owner and I'm back into acting. How can so much change in such a short amount of time? What did we do to get here? I'm just what is time? Does time even exist? What is time? But I know that Evan and I have plans, and then we've just taken action steps together. So it's really cool to look back and be what was the thought behind what led us here? Where did this all originate from? It's so interesting to look back and be how is this even possible? How did I go from Texas A&M to living in New Orleans doing acting, which was already just out of the blue, to now living in LA? It's just very interesting to see how much can change in such little time, but also I want to always be super intentional with figuring out how they changed and then helping communicate that to anyone who wants to listen, just in case they're seeking those same changes. So listen, if you've ever had a goal that seems so far out there, listen, this was never even a possibility. It's not I have certain connections. I don't know. This wasn't just handed to me. This was never really part of the plan. I think that Evan and I have just taken little steps along the way that we have deemed necessary, that align with what we believe in and what we want. Then I blink and I'm this is real life. This is my life. This feels so right. But it just, I don't know. So I'm grateful for self-reflection because I want to always communicate what I've done to get here, because it was not something that was planned. But I think that what Evan and I have always done is just the next step. The next step. It just felt right to start a business. And so we did. It wasn't anything huge. I wasn't trying to quit my job. I loved my job. But we were yeah, why not? Just a little business on the side, just so we can start charging people for the free services that we do with marketing and photography. And then suddenly it's the next thing happens where it's Evan wants to join the military. Cool. Do it. Just do it. It's just a little thing. He's just in the reserve. And then it's the next step happens. And it's just little steps that we've just felt right doing. And we just gave it our all in every step. We've given it our all. I think I would have been freaked out to know that a year later we would be living where we live. Because I would be that's so not even reality for me. But I didn't think about what was a year from now. I did have plans, but I was never self-defeating and comparing myself to anyone else. Evan and I figured out what Evan and I needed to each do in the season we were in and in the next season. And then we showed up, we gave it our all, we did it with a grateful heart, and then the next door opened and one door closed. And it's just like every door we go through together is just one step closer to where we're supposed to be going. And we don't overthink it sometimes. We just kind of just go for it and do it in faith, and it has worked out thus far. I'll leave you with this. Self-reflection is such an important thing to do, but also please follow your peace. Like, if there's any advice I could ever give anyone, follow your peace and don't compare yourself to anyone else. And also, don't sell yourself short. Believe in yourself. Be confident in what you know and the skills you know. And if you're not confident, continue to learn. Always be learning, always be growing, always be believing in yourself. Follow your peace. Like, that's literally what God gives us, is like peace to show us what door to walk through. And just go for it. I believe in you. I also think that Evan and I just have learned to fail fast. Like, sometimes, at least when we first got married, sometimes we weren't doing anything or making any decisions because it was like, oh, what if it's the wrong decision? Even moving to Louisiana in the first place, I was like, what if that's not the right decision? What if I'm losing out on all these college credits, you know? Like, I would ask myself, what if this isn't right? What if this isn't the right decision? But I have to trust that I will be redirected if it's not the right decision. If I truly feel like it is the right decision, I will be redirected. How to do it afraid. Sometimes you won't make the right decision, but you'll be redirected, and then you'll see and learn from that decision. But at least you did something. At least you took a step and you made a decision. So get after it. I'll see you tomorrow for day 18.